Hello, welcome to today's yoga practice. It's going to be approximately 45 minutes working with the element of water and also the Svadhisthana chakra, our sacral chakra that sits in between the root and the navel. We're going to start today standing, so find a comfortable mountain pose, either with feet hip width apart or feet together. Be aware of all four corners of the feet in contact with the mat, and you might like to sway backwards and forwards a couple of times until you find a centre point. The knees are slightly soft. Thigh muscles engaged a little bit to allow the kneecaps to rise. Lower abdominal muscles slightly engaged to bring the lower spine into a neutral position. Shoulder blades relaxed, chest proud, back of the neck long, chin tucked. Crown of the head rises upwards and the eyes close if you're comfortable to do so. I'll begin with a breathing practice, and today's practice is Ujjayi breath or ocean breath. Sticking with our theme of water, so Ujjayi breath, if you're not familiar with it, is an audible breath, and you might hear the sound of the ocean ebbing and flowing as you breathe. If you know Ujjayi, please go ahead. But otherwise, we'll begin with an exhale. So a normal inhale, an Ujjayi exhale, and the best way I can describe it is imagine you're steaming a mirror, but with the mouth closed. And so you might hear a slight purr at the throat, a bit of a vibration at the throat. So a few rounds, a natural inhale, Ujjayi exhale. And if you're ready to add the inhale, this might be thought of as sucking through a straw, but again with the lips closed. So again, you get the sound at the throat, a vibration at the throat. And continuing with a comfortable length and depth of breath. Listening to the sound that you're creating as you breathe, maybe imagining the waves of the ocean. Ujjayi is a warming breath, it's a grounding breath, calming breath. It helps to lengthen as you close the throat slightly and constrict the throat. The space that the air has to flow through is minimised, lengthening the breath. And throughout today's practice, we are going to have moments where we hold poses, and I'm going to encourage you to listen to your breath and listen for Ujjayi. There'll be moments where we flow, one breath, one movement. And again, listening for the breath, it gives you a point of focus, a point of concentration. On your next inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, interlink the fingers, release the index finger into Kali Mudra, inhale to lengthen, and as you exhale, side bend to the right, lengthening down the left side of the body. Inhale, come to centre, exhale to the opposite side, side bend to the left, lengthening the right side of the body. Inhaling to centre, as you exhale, fold forwards, lead with the chest, bend the knees quite some way to allow the chest to work its way towards the thighs, and bring the hands around the back of the thighs, easing chest towards thighs. Lifting the hips, chin to chest, lengthen the back of the neck. As the hips rise up, the crown of the head lowers down. Listening to your breath. On your next inhale, sweep the arms back up, coming to upward facing hands and a slight spine extension, lifting the chest, maybe taking the gaze to the thumbs if that's okay for the neck. And as you exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. Inhale to lift, upward facing hands. Exhale, Right side stretch, lengthen the left side of the body. Inhale to centre, exhale to the left. Moving at your own pace of breath. When you're ready to inhale, it's back to centre, and as you exhale, chest to thighs, bending the knees, or turn sideways. You don't need to lengthen down the back of the body. Seal the chest to the thighs if you can. Relax the shoulder blades, relax the neck. Hear the sound of the ocean as you breathe. On your next inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Slight spine extensions, you lift the chest, lift the gaze, maybe take the hands back a little further, engage lower abs, press the hips forwards, and as you exhale, come down, hands to heart center. Next inhale, lift the right knee, and as you exhale, step it back, coming to warrior one legs. As you inhale, lift the hands overhead. And as you exhale, it's a side bend to the right. Inhale to centre. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale to centre. Exhale is the fold, bringing the chest to the thigh again. Release the hands down either onto blocks or to the floor. Lengthening the back of the neck, maybe the chest compressed into the thigh, and maybe the front thigh can lengthen. The back leg is your foundation, press into the outside edge of the foot. As you inhale, lifting up to warrior one, lift the chest, slight spine extension. As you exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. On an inhale, the right foot comes forwards. As you exhale, it comes down. Inhale, the left leg lifts, and as you exhale, it steps back. Warrior one on the opposite side. Inhale to lift. Exhale, coming down to the left this time. Lengthen the right side. Inhale to centre. Exhale to right. Inhale to centre. Exhale, lengthen. Folding over the front leg. Release the hands down to the floor to blocks. Chest to thigh. Chin to chest. Maybe the chest is helping the front leg to lengthen. Pressing into the outside edge of the left foot. Next inhale, lift. Option for the spine extension, lifting the chest, lifting the gaze, and as you exhale, bring yourself to upright, hands to chest. Next inhale, the left foot steps forwards, and as you exhale, it comes down. Next inhale, the right knee lifts, and as you exhale, stepping back to warrior two. And turn around so I don't have my back to you. On an inhale, flip the left palm, the front palm. As you exhale, come into reverse warrior. Inhale to warrior two, and exhale to side angle. Feel the stretch down the right side of the body, space between the left shoulder and the left ear. Next exhale, circle the arm around, and as you inhale, lifting the arm, taking the shoulder in circles, exhaling as you come down, and inhaling as you lift. All the time listening for your breath. As you inhale, lift the arm up, lift the body up, warrior two. Exhale, the hands come behind you, squeeze the hands together, interlink the fingers, lift the chest, slight spine extension. As you exhale, round forwards inside the front knee, chin to chest, variation of humble warrior. Listen for your breath, focus on the breathing, being steady in your position. Next inhale, lifting up, warrior two. Exhale, hands to heart center. As you inhale, the right foot steps forwards, knee lifts. As you exhale, place it down. Next inhale, lift the left leg. As you exhale, step it back. I'm going to turn again. I don't have my back to you. From warrior two, as you inhale, flip the right palm. As you exhale, reverse. Side stretching as you inhale, come to warrior two, and as you exhale, flowing over to side angle. Your next exhale is a circle with the shoulder circling back and down, and inhaling back up to the diagonal position, and continue round. Let your breath dictate the speed of your circling. The next inhale, the arm lifts, it lifts the body, coming back to warrior two. As you exhale, hands behind the back, maybe the grip is the opposite grip. Slight spine extension as you inhale, and as you exhale, round forwards, inside the right leg. Doesn't matter how high the hands lift or don't lift from the spine. Keeping slight engagement in your core muscles. Then on an inhale, lifting back up, warrior two. As you exhale, hands come to heart center. As you inhale, the left leg steps forwards. And as you exhale, place it down. Release the hands, come back to mountain pose. Relax your shoulders, lengthen the neck. Feel the feet ground down as the crown of the head rises up. Ujjayi breath. Next, inhale, lifting to upward facing hands. And as you exhale, folding forwards, Uttanasana. Hips are high, crown of the head low. As you inhale, lifting halfway, the spine is parallel to the floor. And as you exhale, bend the knees enough to place the hands down. Step the feet back into all fours position. And as you inhale, come to cow pose, lifting the hips. Press at the chest forwards, lifting the gaze. As you exhale, round the spine. Again, working with your breath. Ebbing and flowing with the breath, with the movement of the spine. Starting at the pelvis and rippling upwards, vertebra by vertebra. Becoming aware of the neck as well. Sometimes it isn't always comfortable to lift the gaze too much, so going as far as you're comfortable with the extension of the neck. The next time you inhale, come to a neutral position. And as you exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, come to downward facing dog. Next inhale, raise your right leg and open the hip, bending the knees pointing up, toes are pointing down, looking under the left arm towards the right toes. As you inhale, lengthen the right leg, keeping the hip open. So we're going to be working a lot with opening and closing the hip. And the hips work sort of in correspondence or in alignment with the Svadhisthana chakra. On an exhale, roll the right hip down so the hips are square, both hip bones at the same distance from the floor. The right heel is pressing back now towards the wall behind you, reaching your weight back over the left leg. As you exhale, step the right foot forwards and come to warrior one. Spine is tall, strong through the left leg. Returning to your breath, and when you do your next exhale, the torso comes down, the weight transfers to the right leg, and the left leg lifts into warrior three. Keeping the hips closed, rolling the left hip back as much as possible. As you inhale, the body lifts up, the left knee comes out to the side, right hand reaches up, and the left hand supports under the left thigh, a standing half frog. As you inhale, lengthen the left leg, and as you exhale, bend the knee, step it back to warrior two. Hips are open. Inhale, flipping the front palm. As you exhale, come to reverse. Pause here, your gaze might be up or down. The left hand might be gently resting on the left thigh, and it might come around the back. Next, inhale, return to warrior two. And as you exhale, float yourself over to side angle, as we did before. And in side angle, you're very welcome to go a little bit deeper. You might wrap the left hand around the back, bring it towards the opposite thigh. You might bring the right hand down to the floor, either inside or outside of the foot. Sometimes a block can be quite nice here. All the time working on opening the shoulders, opening the hips, You might come to the bind where the right shoulder comes under the thigh and you link the hands together behind the back. And if you're in the bind, again, working at opening the shoulders, the left shoulder reaches up. If you're in the bind, on your next exhale, take the gaze down, release the hands, and everyone as you inhale, lifting up into triangle. There's the option for the block under the hand again, option to bend the front knee. The back leg remains strong. And if you're using a block under the hand, you'll need to slightly replace it just ahead of your right foot. We're going to move to half moon. As you exhale, left hand comes to hip, right hand comes onto the block or onto the floor, just ahead and outside of your right foot. Draw your left toes in. When you feel steady, lift the left leg, opening the hip, maybe opening the left arm up, stacking left shoulder on top of right, opening the chest, stacking left hip on top of right. And then on an exhale, closing the left hip, bringing the left hand down, vertical splits. Trying to keep the hips as square as possible, so lifting through the inner edge of the left leg. Trying to bring the chest towards the thighs as much as possible to help lift the left leg. And as you exhale, the left knee comes behind and outside of the right foot. The left foot comes outside, bending the standing leg, the right leg, sitting down. I'm going to turn, but stay as you are. Coming down ready for Ardha Matsyendrasana, half Lord of the Fishes pose. So the right hand comes behind, and as you inhale, lift the left fingertips. As you exhale, twist. You might have the elbow outside the knee, or you might prefer to hug the knee. Every inhale, think of lengthening through the spine. And as you exhale, you might be able to deepen your twist, taking your gaze as far around as you can. Listening to the breath, the sound of the ocean, gently flowing in and out. As you inhale, come to centre. As you exhale, slight counter twist. Inhale to centre. We're going to change sides. So either switch your legs over, or if you want to do a bit of a spin, pressing your right foot into the floor. Stand, turning towards your left. Keep the feet as they are, but pivot around to the back of your mat. Pivot around again to the side, so you do a full 360 revolution. Sit back down, and hopefully the left leg is uppermost and the right foot is tucked behind for Ardha Matsyendrasana. On the opposite side, left hand comes behind, sitting tall. Inhale to lengthen the spine, lengthen the right arm. As you exhale, twisting into the pose. Named after Matsyendra, Lord of the Fishes, first student of yoga. He was taught by Shiva. Sticking with our water theme. As you inhale, come into centre, and as you exhale, counter twist to the opposite side. Inhale to centre, and we're going to reverse our way out through all the same poses. Our left leg becomes our standing leg, and we're going to lift up into vertical splits. So getting there however you choose. I'm going to turn sideways on, this way this time. Stay as you are. So the left leg is standing, the right leg is lifting behind. Hips are closed, lifting through the inner edge of the right thigh. And on an inhale, the right hip begins to open. Hip, knee and foot facing the side. The right hand comes to the hip or lifting up, coming into half moon. Option to have the block under the left hand, always making the poses more accessible. Next exhale, the right leg lowers down, coming into triangle pose. Back leg is straight and strong. Maybe the front leg is lengthened. You might have a little bend in the knee, that's fine. Lifting up with the right hand, lifting down with the left. Hip is open. As you exhale, bend the left knee, bring the elbow to the thigh. As you inhale, swing the right hand up and over into side angle. And here you might choose to wrap the right hand behind. You might want to come a bit deeper and bring the left hand on the inside or outside of your front foot. If you have the bind in your practice, you might bring the left elbow around and bind behind. And if you're binding, still work on opening through the shoulders, lifting the right shoulder. In the bind on an exhale, take the gaze down, release. Inhaling, everyone lifting up to warrior two. Flipping the front palm as you exhale, come into reverse warrior. Inhale to warrior two. And from here, the next inhale, the right leg is going to step forwards into the standing half frog. So as you inhale, transfer the weight to the front foot. Step the right foot forwards, lifting up into half frog, and return to face the front for you. Left arm lengthens, spine lengthens, right hand supports under the thigh. Next inhale, you might lengthen the right leg. As you exhale, bend the knee, close the hip. Your next exhale, warrior three. Flowing back, lifting the right leg, hips square, lift through the inner thigh. Tall spine. Softening your front knee as you exhale, step the back foot back, the right foot back, come to warrior one. As you exhale, frame the front foot, step yourself back to downward facing dog. Feel free to walk out the dog. If you want to release the hips, lots of opening and closing through the flow. Or you might prefer to settle in stillness. Coming back to the quality of your breath. You might prefer to be in a child's pose if you feel the breath is a little bit fast. If you're in child's pose, on your next natural exhale, lift yourself to down dog. And then on the inhale, lift the left leg, opening the hip, bending the knee up and the toes down. I'm going to go through this once more. We'll move a little bit faster this time, so working maybe one breath to one movement. As you inhale, lengthen the left leg, the hip remains open, the foot can be flexed or pointed or somewhere in between. And as you exhale, roll the left hip down, hips become square, press the left heel back as if you're reaching to press against the wall behind you. As you exhale, step the left foot forwards, inhale, lift to warrior one. As you exhale, warrior three, chest comes down, right leg lifts. As you inhale, the torso lifts, the right leg comes out to the side. Next inhale, lengthen the right leg. As you exhale, bend the knee, stepping back to warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm. As you exhale, come to reverse. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale to side angle. Lengthen the right side of the body. As you inhale, lengthen the front leg, open the arms up and down into triangle. Next exhale, right hand to hip, gaze down. Inhale, lifting to half moon. Next exhale, roll the right hip down, vertical split. Chest to thigh. Next exhale, the right knee comes behind and outside the left leg bends, coming down, ready for Ardha Matsyendrasana. Bring the left hand behind as you inhale, the right arm lifts, spine lifts, and as you exhale, twist. And we pause here for a few breaths, allowing the breath to settle. Listening for the Ujjayi breath, the constriction at the throat, the steam in a mirror, sucking through a straw. Inhale, come to centre, and as you exhale, just a small counter twist, just gently turning to the opposite side. Inhale to centre, and either changing the legs, or if you want to do the spin, press the left foot into the floor, turn to the back of the mat, pivoting on the feet as they are, turn to the side, back to the front, and your right leg should be uppermost. Making sure both sit bones are down, right hand comes behind you. As you inhale, sit tall, raise the left arm, exhale to twist. Taking the gaze back. A soft gaze, but a gaze that avoids blinking too much. Inhaling, come to centre, exhale, counter twist, turning to the left. Inhale, come to centre, your right leg becomes your standing leg, and on your next inhale, vertical split, standing on the right leg. Lengthen the left leg back up behind you, hips square, both hip bones approximately the same distance to the floor. As you inhale, open the hip, open shoulder, half moon. Left arm reaches up, maybe hand to hip if you prefer. As you exhale, lower the left leg, triangle pose. Reaching left arm up, right arm down, hips remain open. As you exhale, bend the front knee. Inhale, swing the left arm up, side angle. Next inhale is warrior two. As you exhale, coming all the way over for a reverse warrior. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale, relax the shoulders as you inhale. The left leg is stepping forwards for the standing half frog. Right arm reaches up. Inhale, lengthen the left leg. Exhale to bend, close the hip, coming back to warrior three. Challenging your balance to flow, keeping the left leg lifted. As you inhale, soften the front knee, exhale, step back to warrior one. Inhale to lengthen and exhale, coming back to down dog or child's pose for a few breaths, listening to the quality of your breath. Constricting the throat and having your concentration on the sound of the breath, on the sensation of breath at the throat. If you're in child's pose, the next time you take your natural exhale, tuck the toes, press the heels back, lift the hips, come to downward facing dog. And as you inhale, raise the right leg, opening the hip. And as you exhale, bend the knee and bring the knee to the right wrist. Relax the left leg down, walk the toes back in preparation for pigeon pose. And there's a few things to do to set up for pigeon pose. It might be that you'd like a block underneath the right hip to stop you sort of swinging from side to side, helping the pelvis to stay neutral. Start by lengthening. Flex the right foot to protect the right knee, always making sure that the right knee feels comfortable. Then as you exhale, you might walk the hands forwards, bring the body down. If you have a bolster, you might quite like to lie yourself over the bolster, turning either away from the knee or towards it. And if you're looking to one side, remember which side you're looking at, and do the opposite side next time. If this pigeon isn't comfortable and it is quite a strong hip opener, there is the option of doing it on the back. So you might be lying back, maybe lifting the left thigh, or keeping the left foot down. So finding an appropriate variation of pigeon for you. On your next natural inhale, gradually walk the body up. If you have a block under the right hip, take it out. And very carefully roll onto the right hip and swing the left leg forwards in preparation for a wide-legged head to knee pose. So the right knee is bent, the foot coming in towards the thigh. You might like a block underneath the knee if it feels like it's floating in the air a little bit too much, or under the thigh. And can turn to look over the extended left leg. And from here we have some options. You might simply like to roll down and fold forwards any way you choose. You might like to bind onto the feet and lengthen the spine, pressing the hips back and bringing the chest down. You might bring the bolster, if you have one, over the lower leg or over the upper leg, not over the knee joint. Or you might bring the bolster on its end and rest the head on the bolster if you don't want to come forwards too far. You can also build a bit of a tower with blocks and bolsters and things, and then rest the head on. So finding something that feels right for you, just the right amount of stretch. Not forcing anything, not feeling any pain or too much discomfort, but feeling a good stretch. Maybe over the back of the left leg, the outside of the right hip. The right knee remains comfortable. The left leg remains active today, so keeping the quadricep muscle in the upper thigh engaged, lifting the kneecap and helping to open the hamstring. Next inhale, begin to lift the body up. Pause for a second, just noticing how it's feeling after that stretch, and then when you're ready, bring the left foot in into butterfly. And bolster, if you have one, might be over the feet, might be sort of propped up so the head can rest on. You might build a tower out of bolsters and blocks, wherever it might be. Find a comfortable position, and as you exhale, soften forwards. It's quite nice to prop under the knees in this position as well, if you have two blocks, one under each knee. Using a long, slow, controlled exhale to soften into the pose, making it feel a little bit more comfortable with every exhale. No force, no expectation, no judgment. Let the body do what it naturally wants to do, and bring your focus to the breath. On your next inhale, gradually lifting back up. Pause for a moment. Notice any sensations in the body. And then when you're ready, lengthening the right leg, coming out to the side, the left knee comes in, ready for a wide leg head to knee on the opposite side. Option to prop underneath the left knee if you wish. And the same options if you're using a bolster or if you're not using a bolster. Turning to look over the right leg, and as you exhale, folding forwards. hip joints are very closely associated with the release of emotion. And our Svadhisthana chakra is our emotional centre. Also controls our creativity, our sexual energy. So finishing with some hip openers in this way is quite good at tapping into that sort of sacral chakra energy, helping to release emotions. And as you next inhale, lifting the body, releasing the bolster if you're using one. From here, the left knee stays bent, keeping some activity in the foot, so flexed foot. The right leg is going to swing behind, and we're going to come into pigeon on the left side. Same options, you might like the block underneath the left hip. Lengthen first. And it may be that you can fold forwards onto the elbows, lengthening a little bit more, maybe lying on the bolster. Relaxing the neck, keeping the pelvis square. Always checking in with the left knee, the left ankle, and remembering that you can do this on your back. So you can do the supine version, hooking the left ankle just above the right knee, easing the left ankle out, or the left knee out. Next inhale, lifting up gradually onto the elbows, onto the hands. Tuck the right toes behind you, and as you exhale, step back to downward facing dog. As you exhale, lower the knees, bring the feet one side, the hips the other. Lengthen the legs in front of you. We're going to come into fish pose with the option of using a bolster. So if you have the bolster, bring it right into the lower back. And there's options here. If you want to, you could prop the bolster up a little way, having the block under the bolster so we have it at a slanted angle. If you have a cushion, you might put a cushion on top of the bolster. You might like to continue the open hip theme with the legs remaining in butterfly. Otherwise, you can lengthen the legs. Very carefully, feel that the back is lengthening down. So creating length as you come down. And in particular, check the back of the neck. Make sure the back of the neck is long. You don't feel that you're looking up too much and squashing the back of the neck. So this is where a cushion might come in, or lifting your bolster. If you don't have the props, fish without props would be on the forearms, lifting the chest and taking the crown of the head down and back. If you're using the props and you feel supported, either with the hands beside you or rest the hands on the belly, coming to that sort of point between root and navel, just below the navel actually, a bit closer to the navel. Svadhisthana chakra. Soften the breath. You may or may not be using Ujjayi now. You might prefer to return to a natural breath. But nonetheless, concentration is at the breath. And you're very welcome to stay here for another couple of minutes. Or if you'd like to come into an inversion before we go to Shavasana, you might choose to come to Viparita Karani, legs up the wall. This can be done away from the wall or at the wall. If you're away from the wall, I really recommend having a cushion or the bolster underneath the hips, which helps the legs lift up effortlessly. You might choose to come into a shoulder stand. If you have headstand in your practice, that might be an option before we come to Shavasana. Or you might prefer to stay in Matsyasana fish pose. So you're going for the legs up the wall variation with the bolster. It sort of sits just below your waistband and the legs can lift effortlessly. You're welcome to come back into the diamond shape if you want to come to hip opening. Being aware of the contact of each toe and its corresponding toe on the other foot. The balls of the feet together, the heels together. The space at the arches. If you're in a shoulder stand, you're very welcome to lower the legs overhead into plow, halasana. If you're in a headstand, if you're ready, come down gradually and spend a few breaths in child's pose. If you've come into plow from shoulder stand, on an inhale, lift the legs coming back up to shoulder stand. And exhale, guide the spine back down to the mat, vertebra by vertebra. Hug the knees into the chest. If you've been in a shoulder stand, returning back to a fish pose, counter pose for shoulder stand. If you're in legs up the wall, you're welcome to stay there for Shavasana, or when you're ready, one foot at a time, lowering down. If you have the bolster or block beneath you, rolling it away, coming down, and everybody coming to a position where you're hugging the knees in. Apanasana. Releasing the spine, ready for Shavasana. If you like to come to Happy Baby before Shavasana, you might lift the feet up to the ceiling, lengthen the back of the neck, tailbone reaching down to the earth. Maybe take a rock from side to side. And on an exhale, when you're ready, prepare yourself for Shavasana, maybe with the bolster under the knees, cushion under the head, maybe an extra layer of clothing, but find yourself a comfortable position. Allow the eyes to close. Taking a full inhale and a slow, controlled exhale. Twice more. As you inhale, feel energized, feel an expansion at your lungs, your stomach, and as you exhale, relax completely. After 3 energizing and relaxing inhales and exhales, bring the breath to a very natural flow. Very subtle rise and fall of the chest and stomach. Until the breath becomes almost unnoticeable. Allow the eyes to sink slightly deeper under your closed eyelids and lower your attention down to Svadhisthana chakra, just below your navel. And your attention might rest within you at this level. It might rest at the surface of the skin, front and back. It might rest just beyond your physical body, your energetic body. allowing all distractions to pass you by and concentrating at your sacral centre. And it might be that you can visualise the colour orange, the colour of Svadhisthana. You might be able to see that colour behind the eyes. You might be able to look down on yourself and see the colour surrounding you. You might sense a warmth at your pelvic region. Or if you prefer to work with sound, the seed mantra for Svadhisthana is VAM, V-A-M. I invite you to silently repeat VAM, VAM, VAM as you rest in stillness for the next few moments. You're welcome to stay here in Shavasana for as long as you need. But if you are ready to return, start to notice the ebb and flow of your breath. The air as it enters and leaves at the nostrils. The gentle movement of the chest and abdomen. Bringing some movement to the hands and the feet, the fingers and the toes, wrists and ankles. And on an inhale, sweeping the arms up and overhead, come to full body stretch. And as you exhale, hug the knees into the chest. In your own time, in your own way, whenever you are ready, make your way up to a seated position. Eyes remaining closed. Bring your hands to heart centre. Thank you very much for practicing with me today. Namaste.